Oh crap, now we're doing Coonskin. Ralph Bakshi tried to make a animated, partly animated, blaxploitation film. The only blaxploitation actor that I'm slightly familiar with is Rudy Moore, the comedian. A man known for cussing 100 words per minute.
He talked about your people in a hell of a way. He talked about your people till my hair turned gray. He said your daddy's a freak and your mama's a whore.
So the movie starts with these two black people joking about how white people's suicide rate is higher, and then they say black people's suicide rate is higher because both people are suffering, I guess. And then they say, well, some of them were pushed up by white people. I don't get the joke. And our opening is a guy speaking fast and mainly saying the N word for entire 3 minutes. I don't know if preachers in black churches in the countryside cuss or not. I was never in a black church in the countryside in the 1970s. So we start with our animation. We see a bunny, a bear, and a guy with a turd head. I guess it's a character design too ridiculous to call racist, because that's the kind of humor that this film has. Next, we get poetry about some cockroach that this black lady was friends with. This is the most pointless story. It's not even funny and goes on for over a minute. I guess this is meant to showcase black poems, but all I can think of is why do most of the black people in this movie look like designs for aliens? Is it because they are aliens to Ralph Bakshi? Wait, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure Ralph Bakshi have a few black acquaintances just like everybody in this world. Then we get a scene where there's this ruler telling the black people to kill the white people. Okay, I don't think that ever happened in a blaxploitation movie. Whenever I hear about blaxploitation movie, I hear about stuff like Black Law, some freaking joke. Nothing that would actually demonize people. Wouldn't something like this make the black people forced to go against this movie so they can prove that they're not criminals like this movie portrays them as? Next, he shoots up posters of white butter celebrities because Richard Pryor would joke about them saying the N word when they wake up. I freaking hate the animation of this movie. It's just anime characters against live action backgrounds because this movie was too cheap to have animated backgrounds. It's just a cheap way to be stylized, and it wasn't impressive for a time because all of them look flat. There's no shading or anything. Even people in the 1970s that weren't anime experts would talk about this. How come the black ruler in this movie has a dick sometimes and sometimes doesn't? Even the crude animation is sometimes inconsistently inappropriate. So after that, we get like 9 minutes of a complete chaos and trying too hard to be funny, black stereotypes, and we see a white person get a black face to see what it's like to be a black person. So they put him out the real world and a bunch of cops shoot at him because Ralph Bakshi felt the guilt about not being shot at by cops. I don't know what's going on. Just the ridiculousness of that guy's underwear covers up the seriousness of this moment. Next, we get a callback to a scene where this black person was trying to get this white woman to love him, but he does it in the most crude way possible. He's like, "Can we do it yet? Can we do it yet?" And we're supposed to feel sorry for the black person because this movie can't decide on a demographic. Does it want perverted men to watch this movie or black people? I guess there's one scene of a gun coming out of the woman's crotch area, but that's so crude it comes off like a pervert trying to be a feminist. And there's all these scenes of this white person fighting, but is actually a black bear in the movie. But whenever it shows the black bear boxing, he's a white person because this movie didn't want to pay for boxing animation. Or maybe they're making a point that all of the actors in boxing movies were white. I guess this movie predicted Rocky 4, so I guess that's kind of a progressive point. Even when I give a backhanded compliment to this movie, I feel racist. So the movie ends with the black bear and the black woman getting married and the mob boss being destroyed. I didn't really pay attention to plot of this movie because it's so filled of chaos and stereotypical characters that I didn't care. The live action scenes wrap up with the black person escaping from prison because this movie is meant to be a story that an old black person would tell to a young black person. Well, this definitely seems like some bullshit that randomly came up in a prisoner's head. So that's Coonskin. This is a terrible movie that is just trying too hard to be satire nonsense. This is what snobbish critics think Ralph Bakshi is. Nonsense stereotyping and nonsense storytelling. If somebody hated all Ralph Bakshi movies because they only saw this movie, that would be completely justified. I do not recommend this film.